foreign movies about war there are out there. It's amazing. You guys should check them out if you find the subtitles, that is. Now, we all know that, like, for a long time, our movies were like Top Gun or Full Metal Jacket. If your basic training or boot camp is like Full Metal Jacket, you should probably talk to someone about that, because
that's hating nowadays.
Yeah. But either way, and you had, Dances with Wolves, which is actually a pretty good representation of how battle was in the Civil War. There was one British fellow who went to study battles in the Civil War, and he said that it was worthless to study because it was just a bunch of Roman gangs chasing each other across the country. Those battles, it's amazing that we actually have such impressive battles and military strength, because when you read about it, it starts to get a little more chaotic than what we're normally exposed to in movies like Gettysburg and stuff like that. But either way, moving on, you see, we had things like Rambo. You had Rambo 2, you had Rambo, well, you had Rambo, First Blood, Rambo 3, Rambo 4, Son of Rambo. Well, okay, that's not really about Rambo, but it's a good movie and you should check it out.
Oh, with First Blood, it wasn't...
First Blood was fantastic, though, because it was more psychological.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen any of the others since, but I went back and watched First Blood, and I'm like, this movie's like dark.
That was a legitimate movie about post-traumatic stress disorder after military deployment in Vietnam. It really, warrants more looks on it. But then, for the most part, everything was just, the soldiers are the big bad guys, they killed a little stupid, evil guy, and yay, we win.
The enemy soldiers of Cannon Thundera.
Exactly. And then, there came Saving Private Ryan, and pretty much it was the game changer. For the longest time after that, we started seeing more realistic portrayals of war, but not too realistic, because you don't want the audience to see everything, right?
Right. I mean, I remember that they changed, I read the original for the Pacific. I remember that in the sequence with Sledge, Eugene Sledge, he goes into this house during the Battle of Okinawa, and he comes across this woman who is dying. She's mortally wounded, and she pulls the barrel of his rifle to her head, and then, weirdly enough, he just decides, no, I'm not doing this, and then he goes down and crouches down and hugs her until she finally passes away. That didn't really happen. And that would be kind of weird if that actually happened, because I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to, I don't want that person. I wouldn't hold them.
Well, frankly, it would be a dangerous situation to put yourself in to just stand there. I mean, you don't know if somebody's going to come in while your back is turned. Well, that would be the end of you.
What really happened that day, and
nice and altruistic as the whole thing is.
What really happened that day, as it was written down in Eugene Sledge's book, with the ovary, is he found a woman in the house, and then she did actually pull it to her head to say, hey, off me because I'm in a lot of pain here. But instead of doing that, he ran out of the house, found a corpsman, and to bring back with him. And then they hear a shot out in the distance and find out there was another Marine who went inside and actually did shoot her when she pulled the gun to his face. Well, Eugene was about to whoop his butt, but the corpsman said, I'm going to go handle it, and he chewed his ass out. The Pacific is very modern in the sense that we don't, or that rather than showing the full portrayal of war and how things could be with the American military during World War II, they kind of want to just brush it under the rug.
Yes, war goes will never address the fog of war.
Yes.
That's just not something anyone wants to talk about, huh?
Yeah.
Where suddenly your buddy looks like your enemy and you didn't realize it, but now he's dead and it was your own fault. Or
actually, they did cover that in...
You end up killing a whole bunch of people that was surrendering, but you didn't realize it because you
fought the war. But they did cover that in Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
Someone got stabbed, thinking that he was a German soldier. came up and he wasn't prepared and he stabbed one of his brothers. Later on, he got a Purple Heart, but it's because a couple other guys got shot up so many times, and they're like, yeah, you got stabbed by a friendly, but we got so many Purple Hearts here, half of them. I never actually read the source for Band of Brothers. I'm guessing that was Band of Brothers, but I would imagine that actually happened. Moving on, we got for our modern one, we also look at American Sniper, The Hurt Locker, and Jarhead. And Jarhead, I've always kind of considered that movie to be just a bunch of whining, over the war. But I don't know. I never got the point.
That sounds like a really good portrayal of 29 Laws.
That's true. Oh man, there was so much whining down there.
They don't portray it well enough.
No.
But The Hurt Locker was pretty good.
Yeah, but you get some of the veterans, they're like, The Hurt Locker is full of crap.
Probably, yes.
That doesn't mean that average Joe on the street doesn't find it very entertaining.
I almost watched both. That looks like my favorite.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Then you get your WWE and their Marine series.
Back to the movie. Taking on the evil guys.
John Cena, Joe Diabasi, and The Miz twice, apparently.
The new one apparently has The Miz.
I have not seen the fourth Marine movie, but it looks like it's going to be our first sequel, not in name only. It's going to, follow The Miz after the events of Marine 3. But me and Karen have not had the chance to watch it. And
I'm his editor, so I have to watch everything.
So,
I'm also the one who tries to look around to make sure some work gets done.
I enjoy the Marine 3.
Mm-hmm.
You enjoy the Marine 3, right?
Yeah,
You two never saw the Marine movies at all?
How would I ever do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
How dare you say that?
I would suggest the Marine 3. It is good. But it's decent. It's decent. Yeah, we'll say it's decent.
See that on that over to me.
A poor man's
Okay, it wasn't completely.
No, that was the Marine originally was a poor man's Commando. Marine 2 is a poor man's Die Hard, and the Marine 3 was a poor man's. I don't even know. I completely forgot, and we don't even know what the poor man version of Marine 4 is.
I don't know, but it looks familiar.
We'll see. Going back to Band of Brothers.
The miniseries.
The miniseries is, you got Generation Kills, your Band of Brothers, and your Pacific. There's probably more out there. I don't really have much to say other than what I've already said. MASH.
Going from that to TV. The biggest one that we knew was MASH. Everyone saw that, everyone knew it. It's a great representation of the Vietnam War. The Korean War. Yes, Korea. We all know what that was about. And more recently, we have shows like JAG, NCIS, which
hurts me physically.
They are utter bullshit. Litigation takes much longer in real life. I should know.
Yeah.
And there's less of it that's actually dealt with.
And there was that recent Enlisted series.
The Enlisted series. That one was
lasted like
fun.
2 episodes.
Yeah, that was too real for me.
It wasn't that bad. It's too bad it didn't catch on. Then we go into our science fiction section with our Star Trek, Stargate SG-1, and
these would be the things that are inspired by. Let's face it, we all know Star Trek uses a naval system of ranks. And a lot of their prime directives and their codes and such like that are based off of, military concepts. Picard is a really good example of somebody who follows that, and of course Kirk is the kind of guy who pretty much ignores it, but he never